Moving on. So the QB pressure, this has been a hot topic of discussion. The fan base on Twitter has been going absolutely berserk. As myself, I'm here for it. Maximus Prime. I'm gonna keep saying it just because it's fun. I mean, he's got, in my opinion, the best nickname out of the three. Miller Time was cool when it was just Miller Time, but I think he's third on the list now for nicknames. Mertz, or what was it, Heismertz? I'll give him a second place for nicknames.
There you go.
We got a lot of them here, Allie. We throw it around. We got Billy Ballsack, G-Wagon, Big Cock Hawk. That one's mine. That's a personal favorite. They're all mine. But let's talk about the pressers a little bit. They all looked very cool, calm, collected. It seems like a brotherhood, which is really cool to see. But what's our thoughts? I mean, Billy even came out and said, yeah, it's a competition. I mean, and obviously that video of Max Brown throwing to Aiden Mazzell is just zooming through Twitter right now. It's got everybody in a frenzy. So, Dave, I'll let you go first this time, and tell me what you're thinking and how you're feeling about everything.
I mean, yeah, it's good to have quarterback competition, especially, when you go back to last year, you heard Billy Napier talk about, Max Brown, he's going through a learning curve and not quite there yet. And then you segue into this year and you're hearing a lot more better things about Max Brown. And he's actually, I think, and personally, and I think Nick even said it on one of the boards, I think he's like leaps and bounds better this year. And he's starting to make plays. And obviously you see the one to Aiden Mazzell there online. And that's what you want. You want a good, healthy quarterback competition out there because that's going to bring out the best in Jack Miller. It's going to bring out the best in Graham Mertz along with Max Brown. And that's basically, I mean, really what you want is a good quarterback competition all the way to the end. And of course, Billy's probably won't name a starting quarterback until the start of the season. That's usually what most coaches do, or probably maybe a month or so out or a couple of weeks out or something like that. But it's good, healthy competition. I'm here for it.
Allie?
I mean, I can't imagine that they name a starter this spring just because all three of them are so new to this role. I also don't know that I really see, like, Mertz has got to think that he's the guy. I don't know that he comes here from Wisconsin, or he would have gone elsewhere even if he left with Wisconsin, if he didn't think he had a pretty good shot at earning the starting job. But if you're Billy, it's probably advantageous to wait as long as possible to name a starter so that somebody doesn't jump in the portal, right? Your quarterback room is so small already that I don't really think there's anything advantageous about letting a guy know that it's not his job with time to go elsewhere,
And we were talking precast too. Last year, this time, it was talk who's going to be the guy. Right, who's gonna be the Dark Knight? We were making predictions of who we thought it was gonna be. Emory Jones was still there when we were doing this as well too. Miller was my Dark Knight. Obviously, that failed miserably. Spring ball comes. It was pretty clear who the guy was. It was Anthony Richardson without a doubt. Right, so we go into summer ball knowing, even though Billy, I don't think he really announced it. Everyone knew who the guy was, and then you started seeing practices who the guy was. You saw Billy nurturing. Our question precast was, okay, we go to spring ball. Two things can happen. One guy takes over and yep, he's going to be the guy. Or it's really close and we're like, we have no idea. It then raises the question, if one guy takes over, no matter who it is that exciting or a little nerve-wracking, right? Is it exciting in the sense of okay, we got our guy, it's cool, but it's also a little nerve-wracking. It's is everyone else just that poor and Maxie did take it over? Or if everyone is kind of even keel, is it the talent just that good and everyone's really finding their stride, or is it mid? Right? Where that, unfortunately, I preface this that way because that's where Florida minds are going to go. I don't see it being a positive outcome either way, which is unfortunate. What are your thoughts on that? How do we think this plays out for Florida in the spring ball? Allie?
Okay, so I think that it's pretty much terrifying all the way until the season starts, no matter which way we go here. Okay. And I mean, I guess maybe if, Miller or Brown wins the job, then maybe we can say, okay, we at least know a little bit about what Mertz can do because there's some film on him. So if he's better than that, then we know that we kind of know where the floor is. But if it's Mertz that's named as a starter, the floor could be really low for Florida because he didn't have that great of production at Wisconsin. I am guessing we're going to not know until we go right into the season. And that is exciting, but also terrifying because how the quarterback goes, the rest of the team goes, right? So there's just so many question marks at the quarterback position that I think we're going to be stressing about this for a really long time.
Yeah, absolutely. Dave?
Yeah, that spring game coming up April 13th, man, is going to tell a lot of things. I guess for folks that can't go to these practices, can't really see the scrimmages and all the other kind of stuff, you're going to get to see it full force in front of you April 13th. And then also, you go back to Merz at Wisconsin. He didn't have the best offensive line. We all know that. Probably not the best receivers either. Transfers here to Florida is going to have a better offensive line, definitely better receivers than Wisconsin. Can he put it all together behind an offensive line and behind better,
Better
pieces
running
around
backs
him?
too.
Yeah, and running backs. Yeah, so he's gonna have a lot of help from those guys too. Montreal Johnson, Trevor Etienne, two monster studs, and then you got Cameron Carroll and Trayon Webb right behind him there too. I maybe Mertz, maybe he's better than what we think. We brought up those statistics from PFF the other day where, you count drop passes from the receivers and all that. His completion rating was a little bit above 60, not much better than, I guess, what was it, 58 or 59 at Wisconsin. But um, you're going to see, I mean, we're going to see really who can separate the men from the boys in the quarterback room. And Jack Miller, you look at him, he was thrown in the fire there against Oregon State. Osiris Torrance missing, him getting pretty much pressured every play when he got the football snapped to him. So really, I don't think he was put in that great of a situation though either. So I kind of like it, man. Like I kind of like hearing that every quarterback's making plays. You see it on the films that they release out there on Twitter, and we might have a quarterback competition, like they say. So as I said, man, you put some new pieces in front of somebody, it can really change.
I think we'll move on after this. The difference from last year was it felt like it was always Anthony's job to lose. And it felt like if Billy doesn't go with Anthony, it's going to be an uproar. So it was like Billy never really had a choice. There was never really a competition. As much as we want to say there wasn't. And I think Miller knew that too, which is fine. This year, I think everybody knows it's wide open. And now it's Billy's team. There isn't this transition period happening. So, like you said, I don't think we're going to know until the beginning of the season because Billy's going to keep that on lock and say, look, this thing is wide open. Who's going to show me that they're going to take over this team? The one thing that, again, we're seeing all these highlights from Maximus Prime and how great he's doing. The one difference between the other two is he's never played in a game. And so do you go into Utah with everything on him? That scares the living shit out of me. As great as he sounds and all the hype's behind him, I do like the fact that Mertz has played. He's got a ton of experience. So if anything, you just put that guy in there. Just don't screw up. You know what I mean? Like that's it. Go ahead.
And that's kind of the other point, though, right? Like, does Florida really need a quarterback that can win games? Because I almost think with the offensive line that we know that Florida is going to have and the running backs that we know Florida is going to have, that we essentially need a quarterback that isn't going to lose the game. We don't actually need a quarterback that's going to win the game.
We need a Jimmy Garoppolo,
Right,
like to call him. Game manager comes in, just does what he's supposed to do, keeps it in bounds, doesn't make any mistakes. I don't need 400 yards passing. You give me 250. Give me a 75-plus completion rate, no interceptions, and Montreal and Etienne got 600 yards rushing between the two of them. It's an easy day, baby.
Well, I certainly hope that happens.
What's that?
Right. Easy 600 yards rushing, huh?
Just put me in, coach. Whatever you need from me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and to even add to that, Billy Napier alluded to bringing in another quarterback in the spring portal period too. So you don't even know what's going to go on with that.
Too, right? Like they need the bodies. Just God forbid something happen. I think that they need more bodies in the quarterback room.
Look at last year.
Yep.
Just drop them like flies. Whether it was getting hurt off the field in the shenanigans, we can't keep these guys in order. So we need bodies lined up for that.
I'll say this: let's hope we just need a quarterback to manage the game with the running backs.
Yeah, that's a good prop. That's a good problem to have. Before we move on to the next topic, really quick, I got to give a huge shout out. North Florida White Trash, who's been a fan forever. He's been 7 months. He celebrates 7 months of membership. Buddy, I missed the hell out of you, man. Says, it's been a while since you caught a live show. I thought you broke up with us. So I got to just take a minute and say that I'm glad that you're back. Missed the hell out of you. Didn't miss your dirty chats, but I did miss you, man. I really thought you moved on. So glad to see you here. Appreciate the love. And then we got one more super chat. F's Fanatic says, Eugene Wilson is grinding also, just not at UF yet. Eugene Wilson, the videos of him have everybody fired up too, just doing work. Buddy looks explosive, man. It's crazy. All the noise coming out of the wide receiver room, and this man ain't even hit the field yet. It's wild.